All right, it's that time again. Welcome to Giant Africa, where we get a weekly dose of Africa political and economic issues. This week, we are focusing on Nigeria. The topic for this week is the reality of the state of polity in Nigeria. The reality of the state of polity in Nigeria. Nigeria is a big country, the most populated black country in the world. Ordinarily, that should be a strength for political and economic advancement. But the politicians have ensured the opposite is true in Nigeria, a country where the highest number of millionaires are politicians and public officers is in big trouble. Not long ago, Nigeria's Accountant General, a civil servant, was arrested on the allegation of siphoning 80 billion naira. That's equivalent of $192.4 million. To put that in perspective, that will have tarred some roads and supplied running water to a large part of the country. Also, that is more than the amount of foreign assistance that the US gave to Rwanda in 2021. US gave Rwanda $147 million. Can you also imagine what that amount that was siphoned will have done in solving all the problems associated with the recent flood in the country of Nigeria, where over 600 people might have died? The corruption problem is not limited to those in power in Nigeria, but the ordinary people as well. Nigerians of the present dispensation have the mindset that they have to steal money, whether in the public or private sector. The role that culture plays in that regard cannot be overestimated. For example, Nigerians are prominent in respecting elders, even if it's glaring that the person is corrupt. To them, one must not do anything to challenge the authority of an elder. The culture has to be reformed for the country to have headway. The literacy level of the populace determines the maturity level of their democracy. In Nigeria, some people are educated, and where that is the case, the political class will continue to deceive the people for selfish, corrupt reasons. Generally, Nigerians who vote are not enlightened and do not vote on issues. The basis for their vote are based on tribal and religious affiliations and which politician spends the most money. Despite having 24 years of PDP and APC, the two acclaimed political parties, Nigerians are still cold to alternative candidates. Nigerians should be looking for a more substantive leader, but the people who typically vote may not be ready to welcome such an individual as president. For a better Nigeria, the masses need reorientation. They must be ready to do little things right, despite any accompanying inconveniences. They must have the right work ethic and integrity. If we are to survey, Nigeria will have the highest number of churches and mosques, yet corruption pervades everywhere. To rectify this trend, Nigeria needs a leader who will set the right example, one with no history of stealing public funds and which is immensely competent. If that is in place, the government can pursue mass media campaigns to orient the people's minds. The religious organizations have a role to play by teaching their congregants to eschew corruption. The justice system also needs reform. They should also install long term prison sentences for people found guilty of corruption. Whether the proceeding will work depends on the people's will. The people have to be angry with their state and want change. Right now, the people of Nigeria seem to love hardship. They, are, they seem to love the hardship they are experiencing and have no appetite for change. Or could it be that poverty has bastardized the people's minds so that they cannot distinguish the pathway of light from darkness? The greedy politicians indeed recognize that, and they take advantage to the fullest. That is why, after all is said and done, the way out might be supernatural intervention, as experienced by the children of Israel when they escaped through the Red Sea. That might be the case with Nigeria. All right, guys, there goes the conclusion of this week's dose of the challenges facing Africa political and economic development and how the country is dealing with those challenges. Take good care, guys. I'll see you next time.